Okay, so just wanted to bring you back here for the discussion on what is the first tool I would ever buy and what is the last tool I would ever get rid of, or the last tool I would ever sell. And so today we're going to be taking a look at my files, my file roll here. This is a Bucket Boss tool roll. You could actually probably fit quite a few more tools into here than I have, but weight wise, this is quite a heavy little bundle. So the straps are pretty tight. There's like you got a lot of extra strap if you wanted to put more stuff into there. But for my purposes, I just use it for files and it's perfect. So I'm just gonna open it up here for you guys, and we will take a look at some files. I believe that's about where we need to be. Okay, there we go. All right. So this is my actual using set of files. This is the ones that I use when I do restorations on tools like this. One of the ones that we're going to have to get to soon. I keep meaning to get to it, but it's just sitting here on my desk. And so one of the things that we're going to need in order to do that restoration, potentially, is some files. And you kind of need different files for each of the jobs that you're going to be doing. So, and each of the areas that you're going to be trying to get into with a file. And so I have a bunch of different files here that I've gotten from thrift stores or just collected over the years. Some I actually have a box of, and these are like my most useful ones, or the ones that I keep on hand all together so that I have them ready to go when I need them. So I'm just going to go through essentially what I sort of use them for and why I like them, and which ones, if I had to pick ones out of here, which are the best out of this set, I'll show you this set, and then I have some more tool rolls with even more files to show you guys after that. But I just wanted to show you here also that the Bucket Boss tool roll also has handle storage. So I have three different types of handles there. Uh, these ones you just push on, which I don't really like because sometimes they pop off and then you jam your hand back into it. So they also make these ones, which is like it tightens onto it. So those jaws open up, you stick the file down into it, and then you can tighten it up on it, and that's much nicer so that you don't jam it on your hands. So little tips and tricks that I've learned from the masters here on YouTube. Just thought I would show you guys that it's handy to have those all together in your tool roll with your files. And I know this is kind of like a lost art at this point. Most people, they're doing CNC machining. You're doing like everything's automated. Like who does actual hand tool work anymore these days? But uh, I started doing this uh, not not actually that long ago. Within the last maybe 15 years, something like that. But I just really liked the feeling of having two hands on something and working, and it really helped me with my coordination. And so that was like a really helpful thing. Just I like, and the feeling of the vibration. It's like filing is one of my favorite things to do in the whole world. I could just sit there and file all day. I have an anvil that I literally spent like, more than 24 hours polishing the surface on it for like no good reason. But you you get lost in it, and you're listening to music and you're having fun, and then you just keep going, and you're like, I could knock these ones out too. Okay, let's keep going. So it's kind of like a life passion for me that I didn't even know that I had. But once I found it, I was like, man, I can't give this one up. As well as like everybody on earth, the first tool you buy is a hammer, obviously, because then you can drive nails with it, and you can buy the nails at the store. So that one's easy, right? But what tool do you buy right after that? It's like a chisel. Yeah, that's a good one. But a set of the right kind of files, those are the ones that you can use to make new handles for your hammer in case something ever happens to that. Or you could like have a whole job where you're just making handles for people. That's one. You're not going to only use these. There's a bunch of other tools that you could use for this, but this is kind of like your like go-to utility set because I can use these on wood or metal, depending on what I'm doing, depending on what I'm trying to do. I really do want to try to keep them clean and keep them one versus the other. But there's some times where you're going to be like filing into something you don't even know if it's wood or metal, or you're going to hit nails, or what are you going to be doing. So you don't want to use one of your nice files if you're going to be doing that. You got to have some backups, right? So that's why we've got so many in front of us here today. So let's go. Do I do like most important to least important? Do I do best to worst? I guess I'll just show you guys here. Like, okay, what's my favorite type of file in the whole world? Round. Round file is the best file, right? But it's also the most tricky, and I'll show you why. Okay, so round file will take the most meat, take the most chunk, make the most chips out of whatever you're doing, because all you're hitting it with is like a tiny little edge, right, along it at any one time. So you're going to take out a lot of material. So if you're actually trying to like grind something down and get down to something, this one, right? Also, if you're trying to go around the edge of something, right, it means that you're only going to take like the minimal amount off of the edge, but it's still going to be a significant amount, right? But it's like it allows you to do smoothing and curving and all that kind of fun stuff because it's round, right? That I could do the whole thing if I wanted to, just re-smooth the whole thing with just this file if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that because that would be silly and it would take forever and I'd just be wasting my time. I could do it with vinegar, but I'm just saying that it's like if there were little things, just little details, like you see that little bump, it's part of like the original casting of this piece. It's like if I was like fixing this up, right? If I was going to try to like smooth that out somehow, this would be the file that I would be taking to like all of this kind of stuff, right? Because if you use the round file, you can do that. But if you're using a flat file, the problem is that you're gonna like make flats. You're gonna make areas where it's like you've taken too much in one direction or another, and then it's like you're making more of a mess than what you wanted to start with, right? So just thought I would show you guys that. So round files. Round file is my favorite. It's like my magic wand. You guys know that on the channel. Magic things are my favorite, right? And so here's a selection that I have. These two here, right? We've got different cuts, right? I think that this is a single cut bastard file, round file, right? And I use this for woodworking, right? If I'm trying to take out material like inside of a hole, or smoothing something inside of something, or like even around the edge of something, right? When I'm woodworking, that's the one, right? Because the wider teeth, it's like little planes, it's like little chisels, right? Each one of those will take off like a little chip, right? And so like you want chips in that manner. You could use it on soft metal. I don't know if I would want to. That's the thing, right? It's like you'd fill this up with soft metal. I wouldn't suggest it, right? Come on, go back in your home. All right, there we go. Okay, this one is like a double cut, and I still think that there's something about the way that this twist works. I don't know what the. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Come on, you know you want to be there somewhere. Oh, did I almost get it? Well, okay. It's okay. There we go. It's got a spiral to it, and like, it's not quite as aggressive as the bastard file. So this one I also use for woodworking, just because it's like if I need to smooth out what I did with that one, I need something that's just slightly smoother. So that's what that one's for. The next two I move into are for metalworking. When I've used, they're both about the same. They're both actually probably the same. I think they're the same company, but they just look slightly different because there's slight variance in how they were made. But the one on your guys' right, that's the one that I've used more. So it's kind of filled up with metal and it might be smoothed out a little bit here on the tip. Yeah, you've been using it for filing out the insides of like hammer eyes and stuff like that. So that's why like that one's worn out the way that it is. And here's a brand new one right next to it, so you can see what the difference is and how those two look like, used, new, right? And basically what that is a double cut round file, and that is my favorite file of all time. if I had to pick one, like out of the whole bunch, and like just walk away, and I could only take one thing, one magic wand, that's the one. Because I could finesse it. I could finesse it to do any of the jobs that I needed to do. You can use it to do flat. You can use it to do flat. You just have to make sure that you're flat and you're going flat with it. That's all, you know? So it's like, and okay, let me teach you a few more tricks with these guys. Tip, the round tip on that. You can, when you're doing like the inside curves of things, you can use it almost like a little fingernail, and you can scrape with it and you can get things smooth because it's the same hardness of metal, right? So it's going to smooth kind of to the same degree. And once you get the smooth area out, then you can kind of bring it in and burnish it a little bit, and do stuff to smooth things out. So I've used the tip like that before as like a scraper in corners and like to get into places that I couldn't get into otherwise. So I just thought I would show you guys that one. And same with the other end. Same with the other end. It's almost like a stylus. You can get down at the really pointy areas and like scrape out something that's like right in the corner of something, and really scrape something. Because usually, like, even the tips of these are pretty hard on a piece of metal like this. So it might not always work if it's like super soft, but just some tips for other alternative ways that you can use a round file and still do a ton of stuff with it. So use them to do vice restorations, and clamps, power tools, all kinds of stuff. Those ones get you out of trouble. And so then I have bunch more here. These ones are my woodworking ones as well, larger sizes. Uh, this is like a really nice woodworking file. See if I can show you guys there we go. A little diamond action. There we go. So that's like a 12-inch round file that I use for woodworking. These are two that I picked up at thrift stores that I haven't had time to restore yet, but they're just more there for fun, because you only really need one that you're using. But these really, it's like backups. If I was really doing something, or if I had somebody helping me for the day or something, I needed something, it's like I can throw them a tool. So there we go. Okay, on we go. The next four are all Axe brand. The reason that these have ended up here is because they're the sharpest ones that I've been able to use for certain jobs. I've tried Nicholson's, and the Nicholson's just, they dull quicker, whereas these Axe ones, for whatever reason, like this one has done a ton of work for me and it's still going strong. Uh, this is like its older brother that I use sometimes, and it's like it's still going strong. It's about like the quality of the metal. So, and then these two I use for if I'm doing jobs on rusty things and I just need to like knock the corner off of something, or flatten something out real quick, like, and I don't want to do a bunch of work. That's what those guys are for. Okay, put them all away. Okay, these next two, kind of complicated. I like these files, a half round. And sometimes they'll have like a tip like that on it where it's like more pointed, right? Those are really good. Kind of like a keyhole. You can like expand a cut as you go into something, which is nice, especially with woodworking. Whereas this one, it's like you have to have the hole that big already before you're going to fit the file down into it, right? But the thing with these ones is I always like using them on the edge, and then I always dull the edge out. It's like I want a little file knife, right? And then I use it as a file knife, and then there goes the edge, right? So, and I've like used and abused the heck out of this one, so that's why it's in here, just because I know if I need to do jobs like that, at least I've got a user, right? This one, it's like the saver. Like I'm gonna have to clean this one up a little bit too. Still got paint on it, but it's like when you find one of these at a thrift store and it's still got the edge on it, like this one still has the edge on it, guys. I'm like, man, this sat in somebody's toolbox or something and just got paint on it, and then somebody took it to the thrift store. So that's like a perfectly good file, like ready to go. All I have to do is clean it up a little, but I haven't had to yet. Haven't had need, right? Last three files here, we've got a regular flat single cut bastard file, so you can see like what an actual cut that looks like. Oh, come on. Let me see if I put my hand behind it. Yeah, there we go. Right. So it's really big chips that those take up. Right. And it's also got that keyhole shape so it can go down into something. And it's got teeth on the side of it. That's something to look for in a file, right? If you're going to be doing like woodworking, something like that, when you're picking them up at the thrift store and you're like trying to determine like, well, what do I want this for? Do I want it for metalworking or for woodworking? If it's got teeth on the side of it, consider for metal or for woodworking rather. Sorry. And if it doesn't have teeth on the side of it, then you're like, okay, well, this is obviously probably for metalworking. So you can then determine uh, what you want to do as far as whether that tool is going to actually suit your need and what you're going to do with it. But this is a really nice, I believe this is, let's just see, it's a Magic Cut. That's a Magic Cut. Nicholson. There we go. That's what it is. Okay. So that's still, they still make good files, guys. But I'm not, it's just what do you have at the time? And like I'm testing the things for hardness, and that's what ended up with, right? Got a couple here. This one was dinged up at and I found it at the thrift store. It's the kind of thing where it's like it's gonna sit there. It's like a nice size though. It's gonna sit there and nobody's gonna buy that because it's got a ding in it, right? And I'm thinking to myself like, oh well, that would make a nice blade if we wanted to do something with that someday, right? So we'll just smooth it out, no problem, right? Okay, and this is my backup for woodworking. You can see I still have the $2 price tag on it. So this one is for literally like the worst jobs in the world. Like if I have to go into a hole that's got like nails and stuff in it and tips of screws pointing out or something, this is like my sacrificial blade so that I don't have to send any of the other ones to their doom. All right. So that's basically my go-to filing toolkit that I take if I was going to go outside and do some filing like on any of my projects. This is what I take with me normally like 10 out of 10 times, right? So next I'm going to show you my specialty toolkit, and then I'm going to show you some older files after that. So these this set is my specialty files, right? And so I've got smaller metal files for getting into smaller places, right? But the really important ones here, like if I was like I still have half rounds, flats, right, all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like so that's if I was doing like really fine detail work on something and I didn't want to go overboard, right? But the really important ones here, I'll kind of divide them into like 3 or 4 sections. We got these guys, the triangular ones. Those are my saw files. Those are for sharpening saws, right? I don't have like all of the proper angle geometry for like every type of saw, but if I'm sharpening saws, those are the ones that I'm going to, right? Also, I have these, right? Little magic ones. These are for chainsaw sharpening, right? And these are like the baby detail work round files, right? They last pretty much forever. They're super hard, they're super strong. The the teeth just don't go all the way down to the tip, which is a little frustrating sometimes, but you can use them like a stylus. So if you're doing detail work and you have a couple of these just sitting around, this is kind of like your magic pen, magic eraser for taking out stuff. You just got to work at it for a long time. Work at it, right? So it's because they're hard enough. These are small enough pieces of metal that when they make these and they quench them and they do the whole thing, it's like it's still going to be really hard by the time it's all over. So just wanted to show you guys those. Those are 2 more votes for like most important ones, but I'll pull them all out at the end so you guys can see like the full set. Right. So we got some chainsaws. We have a diamond file. This is impregnated with diamond grit. It's pretty much used up at this point. This is the one that I was actually using to do the surface of the anvil. I got a really nice surface, but Man, I probably put enough hours on that that file there for like its lifetime, right? And I'll just show you here. These are called needle files. I'm gonna show them up just up close. I'm not gonna take them all out because there's a whole bunch of them. They all have different shapes. But these are for getting into holes, like keyholes, really tiny holes, like if you were doing down into a drill hole or a borehole and you were trying to smooth something out. But also if you're trying to do like really fine detail work, even on woodworking, right? Like you're trying to just file something really tiny down on a crafting project. These are what you need. You need a set of these guys. They'll get you out of all kinds of jams. There's all kinds of different shapes. And like if you get really good at using these, it's like these are like surgeon's tools essentially, right? I have a whole set here as well. These are diamond impregnated as well, right? And they can go into all different types of corners because they're hooked. So it's the kind of thing where it's like you don't know you need a tool until you need the tool, and then you don't know that you need it until you have it, or until somebody shows you what it looks like. Uh, these are some of the ones that I've found over the years where I was like, okay, that's helpful. Maybe I need that at some point. And then it turns out later, yes, you did. So they're good ones to have. So that's my like emergency doctor's kit set of files right there. And before I go on to the old files, I'm gonna pull out all the good ones, right? All the ones where I would say like, okay, this is your set. You want one of these guys. You want a half round. You want an axe. So let's put these all here, right? You want a bastard file for your woodworking. And then you want at least one of these guys, at least one chainsaw, but maybe two. So that would be my like first starter set of files to look for. If you were just looking for a set for users, you could put them together and have them. It's a really small, easy to store. You could put those in like a stand or something, like stand them up so that it's all there and ready to go on your desk or something. But this is the set, okay? I believe that's like a 10-inch round file. That's an 8-inch half round. So this would be like an 8-inch flat axe, right? With a 10-inch probably bastard file. Doesn't really matter, but that's what you'll probably see at the store is these sizes, right? So just so you can see what they look like in my hand, and these are what I would recommend, right? There are larger half rounds, but it's like how much do you want to be pushing all the time, and how many spaces do you want to be able to get into with it? Uh, a small flat file is fine unless you're doing like big, huge surface areas. And like this is like a pretty good utilitarian bastard file for woodworking. And then you just got these two, right? Which like get you out of all kinds of other jams. So that's your set right there. Okay, guys. Best best tools. First set that I would buy. Last set that I would get rid of. That's them. Okay. All right. We'll put those back eventually. I can put these ones back right now because at least they're the only ones that have to go in here. Okay. Yeah, I'll do those later. Okay. So just for fun, I'm going to show you some vintage files now. This is like stuff that you would be looking for if you were collecting at a thrift store. Right? Maybe I'll pull them up just slightly so you can see slightly better. There we go. There's some nice files, right? So, like I was saying earlier, the things that you want to look for when you're trying to buy files is does it have the edge, right? And like what's the quality? How does it feel? That's basically the first thing I do is I feel it with my fingers and I feel like how smooth is it? Is there anything that's sticking out, anything rough, anything that sounds like it feels like it would be a problem? And if there isn't, then you're golden, right? There's like because that's all you're really doing when you're filing anyways is trying to smooth things down. So as long as it feels smooth, yeah, you're golden. You know? I think this one's a little busted at the tip, right? But it might be another project file for making some kind of blade, right? That could be fun. This one with the wider teeth, it's like this could be turned into a woodworking one, like a rasp. These are more like rasps. These are more like files. These are more like rasps, right? Because it's got the big wide teeth. Let me see if I can get the focus. There we go. Right. So you could use it on metal, but I wouldn't advise it. I would just use these guys. There's no reason to go like something like that on steel unless you're like working in an auto body shop and you're just trying to like get the edge off of something to like make it safe. Then you might want to use something like this. Like if you don't care about it, it doesn't bother you, you know. But if you do care, then you might want to pay attention to something like that. Like that. Okay, there we go. Vintage round file with the handle still attached. Right. That's somebody's grandfather's. You know. I don't know who. If you know who it is, just say who it is. You know what I mean? We'll get it sent back out to you. But you know what I mean? That's how I feel sometimes looking at these things. You know? That's somebody's grandfather right there. You know? Hmm. Who knows if he's seen the light of day since then, you know what I mean? Ah, same as this one. That's a fancy handle. You know? Oh, those are pretty nice, aren't they? Nice to bring back memories and stuff. I have some more. I just don't know if they're gonna actually fit on the desk. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to show you guys these ones. Oh god, this is like my roll of like the best ones that I've found, just for fun. Oh man, here we go. Oh, I know there's more. Here we go. There's some fun ones in here. Okay, try to show you guys these. So we've got my massive half round. There we go. With the handle still attached. Hey, $5, that's not bad. That is a PS Stubbs, England. And that is a very nice file. And it still has the edges. It's pretty nice. Very nice. Oh, what do we got here? We got a Wood Miller. It's a lathe file. There we go. Nice and big. In case we need to do any actual work. That's just like flat as flat, man. That feels like so flat. Ah, see what we got. See if I can read it. Oh, that's a globe. Right, right. Oh, can I read it? No, no. There we go. Just a nice big file. That's all it is. Nice and smooth, right? Things we could clean up, but like things I don't even need to or want to, you know, because you kind of like looking at them when they're old. You're like, uh, Grandpa wouldn't have cleaned it up. He'd have been like, "Yeah, you're just wasting your time." uh, there we go. Somebody, somebody, somebody didn't like the name on that one. Tried to erase it from history. Uh, there we go. Okay, let me show you these last set of files here, guys, because I haven't had any of these ones yet. These are square files. What the heck would you use a square file for? I have no idea, other than to get stuck in things. You know, put that down into a narrow hole. Then try to pull it back out again. Oh, that'll be fun. That's a good job. Let's do that. Not. But I guess if you really had to get down into something in a square fashion, this is the only way to do it, right? So, got another one here. See if we can get it to focus. There we go. It's not even in. This one's not even in great condition, but I see square files so rarely that every once in a while I'm just like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Especially this one. Like, what the heck? Okay, we got a name. Oh, it's another globe. All right, there we go. Globe. But just look at this beast, man. See if I can even get the, yeah, and she's still got teeth. She's still got teeth. So, like, what are you gonna do with that? No idea. We could make something really cool out of that, couldn't we? So, just thought I would show you guys here today some fun things with my file filing system, my tool collection. But just it's one of those things like I go to the thrift store, right? And I pass by the file bin and every once in a while I'm like, man, do I really need another file? Because I got all these ones sitting at home. But I'm also like, but damn, there's some nice ones in there, right? And so it's like it's a fun little activity to do, and these are so easy to clean up. I wouldn't leave it in the acid forever, you know what I mean? But just get it in there, start scrubbing it up, and just like get it as clean as possible, and then get it into the neutralizer. We have to do the whole episode on it at some point, guys. I keep wanting to do live streams and stuff, but the YouTube overlords are keeping me caged for now. So that's gonna be it for today's episode on the first tool I would ever buy and the last tool I would ever get rid of. And it's because it gets you out of all the jams. This is the one that fixes all the things that you can't fix with all the other tools. When something gets like dinged up or it's not sharp anymore or you need to fix it up, man, like the right file can do the job. And so that's what I'm talking about. This is the real magic, folks. This is where the real magic is. Okay. Hope you guys are having a great morning or afternoon or evening or wherever you are, and we'll catch you again next time for more adventures in the realm of magical tools and things we can do, guys. So we'll see you next time. Have a good one.